Hi, I'm Christy Tomlinson, mixed media artist, and this is Art Redefined, where there are no rules, just creative mess to play. Today, with my friend Margie, we are going to do really creative projects with yarn and art and thread. So gather your supplies, and when we come back, we are going to have fun with fiber. All right, we are back. So today I am going to be talking about jute and twine and yarn and thread and creating it on art. But I also have an awesome guest with me today, one of my very best friends, Margie Romney-Aslett. She is one of the most creative people I know. She is a genius behind most of the paper crafting products that you see out there that are totally on trend. She is just a brilliant designer that way. She also has a great event. It's called Spark, and it's every fall, and it's just a beautiful art event where people come together to create. So I am excited to have you on.
Thank you.
One of the things that you're doing at Spark this year is they create all of their decorations that are handmade, and they are using yarn quite a bit in the event. So it's perfect that you're on today. So when you think of yarn, sometimes you think of grandmas and knitting and crochet and things like that, which are totally coming back into style. Totally, I love it, embroidery. But another really creative way to use yarn is on art and on canvas art. This is just a few of the ways. Here you can see that I've used it on here to decorate the butterfly that I created. This is another piece that I created. It's just flowers that I created out of yarn and jute. So I'm going to show you how to do this today, and we'll walk through some of these a little bit later. So the first thing I want to do is start with a canvas. This canvas has previously been painted. I've put paper on it, I've inked it, I've stamped it to create texture because we want to have some depth and dimension before we even start. And you can do this without having to put like a shape on it or anything like that, but I cut this bird out of a pattern paper, and I'm going to take some decoupage or Mod Podge or glue or whatever you want to, whatever you'd like to call it. Yep. And I am just gonna cover this and
add another layer.
No, we'll do it there. And then we just want to dry it really fast. And while we're drying it, this is another piece that I did. This is actually a piece out of my art journal because I also love to do art journaling, and that's another fun thing for mixed media artists. And so again, I just painted the background, and then I put the art on with the thread and the jute. So it's a lot of fun.
So that's DMC floss and a little bit of baker's twine.
Yep.
That's adorable.
Okay. So then what you want to do, and when I use the smaller, the DMC floss, what we were just talking about, I don't use a glue gun because you're going to see the glue in between it. So I always use the Mod Podge or the decoupage.
You want me to cut you a piece?
Yeah, cut me a long piece.
Okay, let's go with this dark blue. That's fine.
So let's start. I'm actually going to start up here, and we're going to do the circle. Thank you, babe. And we are just going to, you just take it, and it gets really messy. I mean, if you aren't one that likes to get sticky, this probably isn't for you. And usually I take a pen and just kind of guide it down.
It's sticky. It holds it as you go.
Stick it, and you still can move it a little bit as you still have time to like move it around.
Manipulate it, yeah.
But and the thread will separate. For me, I don't feel like it's a big deal. I like it because it's for me, everything that happens in art is for a reason, and it's the way as it should be. So if it ends up separating, I think great. That's just part of the creative process.
Where I would be fixing it.
Yes, you would. Margie is a perfectionist. I am not. That's why we make a great team.
Yep.
So there you have, I mean, this could easily be a flower. We could stick a button on there, anything.
Sunshine like that.
A sunshine. So we would do this with a lot of different elements on the canvas. And then, of course, we could even take more layers. I love baker's twine because it's multicolored, so it has a lot of dimension to it. So we could go on top of that we did. And I
was just going to ask you, you're going to put the decoupage on top of it then?
And it's totally fine. It'll stay.
And you're just kind of twisting it.
Yep. And you can do it however you want. Like for example, on this one that I did, I actually took the time to create like petals, and so I brought it back in and forth. And then I even spelled a word with it. I spelled the word joy. So you can do words with it as well. There's just so much that you can do with it. So that's just one more layer that you can add to the canvas. Now, if we're gonna do yarn, we want to work with glue guns. because the yarn it's thicker, it's just easier, it stays on better. So if I was going to do this bird, let's do the bird let's do it in the green.
Okay.
So I would just start, and for me, I like to use a hot glue gun versus the low temp, and I know that's like, you know, hard because you're touching it, but it just stays hot longer, and it also lets me to have more workable surface. So I just take it and follow the outline of the bird. Oh, I'm not sure how that sits. And then you just, oh, we might have went too far. Yep. Probably need to add some more glue. This might be a low temp. And if you're working with a low temp, it works. You just have to work in smaller sections, and that's the only thing about it. So I don't mind getting burned if I get to have more time to play.
Right.
I don't mind getting burned if I have more time to play. That's a nice little, that should be my tagline. And so then you end up just with
layering
a finished product.
Yep.
Right. And then you can go in with art pens and like if I want it to look more artsy, then I could come in and paint around it and then just spread it around. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or you can come in with your pen and you can doodle around it, which is something I love to do.
Can you put Mod Podge or the adhesive over the top of that yarn, or does that?
You totally could.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you totally could. Okay. So I want you to create one, and I'm going to create one. So I brought you a little canvas.
Fabulous.
And we are going to create this project right here. And this is mainly with yarn. I didn't do any jute, but you could obviously do jute or embroidery, floss or whatever around the edges. So it's just the same technique. We're going to start in the middle and we're going to build layers, okay?
Okay.
So pick out some yarn that you want, and I'm just going to go ahead and start with the green.
I'm going to start with pink. Surprise.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Margie's our pink girl.
Okay, so I'm going to put just a little daub in the center.
Yep. And it's okay to be like generous with your glue gun because
the yarn's thick enough, it'll cover it.
It'll totally cover it.
Okay.
And you're just going to work in sections. And really, glue guns are great for a lot of things. My big issue with them is I just hate the string that comes off of them. So that's why I don't like to use them very much.
Do you ever take your heat tool and then after you're done and just heat those little spider webs away?
No.
That's a
brilliant tip. I love it. I never heard of it before.
Yeah, I just take my heat gun after I'm done, and then
dude, she's just a smart one. We love this girl. So you're just going to continue to go in a circle, and until you get to the base where you want it, and then you're going to add another layer.
Okay.
And while you're doing yours, I'm going to show this one.
That's adorable.
So this one is another kind of like the bird technique that we did. I put down the butterfly with paper, and then I went around it. I actually doodled around it first. And then I put the big piece of the yarn down, and then I started just filling in the butterfly sections of it with the jute and the embroidery floss. And then I actually went back in afterwards with my pen and filled in the spots. Or you can do it with a paintbrush and paint, whatever you want to do. Then I added just a fun little word. I added a key on here and, you know, totally.
Love that dimension.
Yeah, it just adds some fun play. It's just something different to do with yarn and with jute.
Okay, so how am I doing?
You're doing awesome. I love it. I'm going to grab this one too and show them this one. So this one, the whole thing isn't done with yarn and jute. Like I took an element, and this is actually one of Margie's products right here. So I wanted to mix it up. I didn't want the whole thing to be just, you know, with the fibers. And the centers of this is just a tack, like a tack that you stick in fabric when you're doing
upholstery.
Upholstery, thank you. I'm not very good with words. But this is a mixture of yarn and jute.
It's darling.
So how are you doing over there?
Okay, I'm just scrolling. I think I'm
so
pretty impressed.
Let's just cut you out a little teeny word. Let's use the word leap. That's my word for this year is leap.
Good one.
It is a good one. And I would just hot glue that right on too, just because we already got the hot glue out.
Right.
And then you could, at this stage, you can just doodle on some leaves, and let's get the pen going a little bit.
I'll let you do the doodling.
And I'm doing it upside down, so.
Impressive. So
So that could be even finished. We could go on and add more. I mean, there's just so much you could use. Add yarn around the outside. We could add a button onto here.
I'll put it on the edges. That'd be fun.
So, and you can even go in, now that we've done that, you could go in, once this pen dries, which only takes a few seconds, we can go in and put Mod Podge on it and then continue it with, you know, put some other stuff on it. So just get creative. Besides yarn and jute, you can also do ribbon. Ribbon is a great thing. This would be really cute to even run around the outside of this. So anyways, you know, raid your grandma's closet. Find some yarn, jute. Baker's twine is so fun. It's kind of like the look of embroidery somewhat without actually doing the embroidery, because you can't really embroider on canvas. It's kind of hard. You can on you know, raw canvas, but not on stretch canvas. It's a lot harder. So anyways, thank you for joining me and being here. You're
Thanks
such
for
an
teaching
awesome
me something
guest.
new.
Yeah, and I hope you guys have fun, and we will see you next time on Art Redefined.